Hey guys, welcome to Pattern and Craft. I'm Courtney and today's video is a tutorial on how to make a continuous single color teardrop loop for starting a friendship bracelet. For this tutorial, I'm going to assume you already know all the basic friendship bracelet knots and are already at least somewhat familiar with making teardrop loops. So first, I want to quickly compare the regular teardrop loop, which is here on the left, and the continuous teardrop loop here on the right. We can see they look pretty similar. They both have the same initial loop structure at the top, but with the regular teardrop loop on the bottom portion of the loop, you can see all the colors of the strings that are used in the bracelet. Whereas the continuous teardrop loop, we only see the color used for the loop all the way to the point. This can sometimes be preferable depending on the pattern we're using, but it's also slightly less versatile because there are a few limitations. In the regular teardrop loop, we can use any color from the bracelet for the loop. But for the continuous loop, we can only use a color for the loop from strings that cross each other in the middle, because these strings will end up in the center of our pattern. And we also have more limited options depending on the pattern as well. For example, with this pattern, all the colors cross each other in the middle, so technically I should be able to choose any color for the loop. However, for aesthetic reasons, I probably want my loop to be placed right above the diamonds here at the edges, so I really can only pick from white, blue, or pink for the loop color. And for this bracelet, I'm going to be using white. To get started making this loop, we'll want to have all our bracelet strings cut and ready. Remember to use double the length because each string gets folded in half at the loop and becomes essentially 2 strings. Also, the string we'll be making our loop with needs to be about 2 feet or 60 centimeters longer than the rest of the strings, since the extra knots of the loop use up about that much extra string. So now we need to find the midpoint of our bracelet strings, then take the loop string and fold it in half. Then loop it around the bundle of bracelet strings at their midpoint, pull the ends through, and tighten. Next, we straighten out the strings and move our upper loop string out of the way, securing everything down with tape. Using the lower loop string, we'll start to do forward-backward knots with it onto the bundle of bracelet strings. Keep knotting till we have enough for about half our loop. Then to keep things even, we'll switch to the other side and knot in the other direction, using the same forward and backward knots, keeping our tension tight and even. Once we have enough macrame made for the loop, we can start to curve it and shape it and check if the size is good, and adjust if needed by adding or undoing knots. Now it's time to make the bottom half of the loop. Secure the top loop down with some tape and determine the order the strings need to be in according to the pattern design. For this one, I need to bring out the white string first and then the rest of the strings from pink to blue in rainbow order. Here you might notice my first string was all the way to the right, but we want the strings coming out to the left for the left side of the loop. So first I brought it between the other strings to be on that side. This might be a helpful tip for you if you're making a loop of any kind. So before we bring the string out, we first need to make the first half of a forward-backward knot onto all the strings so that the string is sort of pointing upwards. Now we bring out the first bracelet string. Then finish our knot so that the first string is now separated from the bundle and our loop string is pointed to the left. Tighten and repeat this for each string we want to bring out. So again, we make the first half of our forward-backward knot, Bring out the next string in the pattern, then finish the forward-backward knot. And again, start our forward-backward knot, bring out the next string, and then finish our knot. And keep going like this till we get to the last string in the bundle. So when we're at the point we just have your loop thread and the last string left, we'll be doing a regular forward knot for the last knot instead of forward-backward knot. Now we've got the left half of our loop finished with the strings all coming out to the side, nicely spaced and in order, just like they would be with a regular teardrop loop. Now we need to make the right side of the loop, which we do the exact same steps, only mirrored. So here we will make backward-forward knots when working on the right side instead of forward-backward knots like we did on the left. So again, we have to start with the first half of our backward-forward knot, bring out our first string, finish the knot, then start another backward-forward knot, bring out our next string, finish the knot, and so on till we get to the last string. Where we will now be doing a regular backward knot to finish this side. And then the last thing we have left to do is to connect the two sides of our loop, which we simply will tie a regular forward knot between the last two strings. Now, this can be a little tricky, but just take your time and remember you can always adjust or fix the knot if needed. So that's it for the continuous teardrop loop. We can go ahead and start our bracelet from this point. Also, here's what it looks like on the back if you're wondering. I think this is a really nice alternative option to the regular teardrop loop, and I hope it comes in handy for your friendship bracelet making. And I also hope you enjoyed this tutorial. I plan to do more videos on friendship bracelet techniques as well as other types of crafts, so I hope you will subscribe, give the video a like, and leave a comment if you have any questions or suggestions for me. I also have an Instagram at Pattern and Craft, so you can see some of my bracelets, art, design work, and crafts there. And please tag me if you make something using one of my tutorials or patterns. I'll leave the pattern number for the bracelet in this video in the description. Thanks again, and see you next time.